Hello and welcome. I'm Thomas and this is channel called Wonder of Existence. I'm happy to have Mike with me again. It's a solo session, solo face-to-face with Mike. And we're going to go for the jam session. Purely unstructured session to talk about whatever comes to our heads.
Because we couldn't come up with a decent topic.
Yeah, because we were thinking about what to talk about. Perhaps what's the point of life? What's the definition of happiness? And then at some point, during our pre-chat session, we said like, oh, let's go wild and let's talk about whatever our brains comes.
See what comes out of the conversation.
Exactly. So let's kick it off with me asking a question. What do you think, Mike, about definition of happiness? Let's kick it off with happiness. I know we'll probably create a separate video about happiness, but let's say how can we say that someone is happy, or how can we define that someone is happy? What defines the happiness? How can you say that if I feel happy, what are the internal feelings for me in order to tell you, oh, I feel happy?
Yeah.
What does it mean to feel happy?
Feel good, feel in flow, in tune with everything. Everything's hunky-dory, everything's working well. There's you're solving all the complications. You're not getting all stressed up over things, and I can give you a contented feeling if everything's running smoothly. But it doesn't necessarily bring any deep happiness to it, a sense of happiness. Happiness is a very vague word anyway, isn't it? Different people have a different idea about what happiness is, and it's not a thing; it's a feeling. It's a what was that quote? It's not a place. It's the way to that place. So yeah, for me, it's something like if I can take it for myself, I can feel good even in the worst of situations because I have a vision of where this worst of situations is taking me, and I can appreciate that worst of situations for itself because I know without it I wouldn't get to where I want to go. So I can be happy in, say, being depressed. Not that I get depressed, but I can feel some element of happiness in bad situations because I can see the value in it. So it's like something that's even deeper than just a surface thing.
Does it mean that even you don't feel happy at a particular moment, you still feel good?
I can be happy for the situation I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't feel happy, but I can feel happy about not feeling happy. Now, that sounds really strange,
okay.
But that comes because I don't experience life, or I don't want to experience life as just in the moment of everything being in place. For me, my enjoyment of life is the experience of it, and what I can look back on and say that was an important journey to make. And you obviously you can, if you look at it in terms of, say, a journey, a really difficult journey, you're not enjoying every single moment of it. It's a struggle. But when you get, say, to the top of the mountain, you look back and you say everything was worth it because now I'm here and I can enjoy the view. But the point is to appreciate that struggle while you're struggling, while you're in it. And you can only do that if you have a vision of what it's going to be when you're at the top. So you're actually in a state of happiness even when you're struggling. And I think that's a sort of key to experiencing happiness or to fulfillment, when you can actually appreciate value in every step of the way. And people tend to get bogged down with moment events, and they let that they lose their emotions in that moment and think that is like the end of the journey almost.
Mm.
Instead of saying, well, yeah, but this is just a step towards something better, and this problem creates opportunities. Glass half full, glass half empty sort of thing, and it's and my impulse in life is to look for those, is to focus and try to be aware of those different levels of experiences. So one experience or one event could be an experience for one person, but it could be a different experience, even though it's the same event, for somebody else. But it can be a different experience for yourself if you change your perspective on it. I'm not really being clear, maybe, but for me, happiness is a feeling, a deeper feeling that whatever happens, you are having a worthwhile experience. So even if you've had a rotten life, if you take it from the perspective of an afterlife, looking back on it, it could have been a very worthwhile experience to have that, and very valuable to have it. So you can be happy about that.
But if
It's not just a human thing of everything's great, everything's because you can always change your perspective on things.
I understand that from the average man perspective, when you don't feel happy, so when you're struggling, right, you go through all kind of issues on a daily life, and it sort of accumulates in you, and at some point you're so fed up that you want to release it, you want to do something about it, you become depressed actually at some point. And you're not on a position at that very moment to think, oh, hold on, that's actually everything fine, I know I'm just struggling now, I need to sort of survive, and within a day, month, some certain time, I'll be fine. No, you don't think like that. Whenever you struggle, because you're struggling, you feel like, oh my God, why is it happening to me?
I think you can think about that every single moment of every single day.
You can, but I'm saying that average men don't think like that.
No, they get distracted. They get distracted,
yeah.
But they haven't gone deep enough within themselves to actually create an overall purpose for themselves. They're not clear on why they're here. They're not clear on what the purpose is. They're not clear on what the hell they're doing and why they're doing it.
But are you surprised that they're not?
No, I'm not surprised, because it is a process of being. It's a lesson like anything else. It's
but why do you think we should go that path? Should we just simply
Well, maybe
live?
you don't. I only know it from the fact that I feel compelled to do it that way.
Yeah.
And from my understanding of what life is and what being human is, as a sort of spiritual choice to be human, then we've all got a different purpose to be here. Every single person's got a completely different purpose to be here. And for some of them, it might be not to be involved in self. It could be to just be lost in the experience of being human. For me, I can't take that perspective, because it's not my theme. I pretty much feel like if my belief is right and I chose to be here, then I have come with a theme, and that theme is to contemplate why I'm here. But that's my theme. It doesn't have to be everybody else's.
What if there's my theme, which is different, which is that we are put in here and we need to.
Well, yeah, that's your theme, and you work that theme out.
No, I know, but then you struggle. You don't know why you struggle. You know only that your life sucks, and you wanna at some point when you're depressed enough, you just wanna quit it.
Yeah.
And you know, if you look deep dive into this theme, you might see, you know, some different entities actually enjoying the fact that you're quitting your life because you generate a lot of negative energy. That's what they feed off. Obviously, if you follow that direction, this path, which loads of people believe that this is just rubbish, but they might be right. You know, I might be wrong, and that's fine. But I believe that might be a case based on all those information taken from the regression sessions, and you've got so many of them, and all those stories are repeating themselves. And I don't think that, you know, it happens only if it happens only to some individuals. Then I can say, this person got some mental issues or something like that. But if it happens to so many people, you know, don't you think that someone's got simply a capability to connect to some different either dimension or different source of knowledge or different database, whatever we call it, and therefore he's got the access to this information which is not available to the average man, and therefore the average man tells you as the guy who got this access, oh, you're crazy or you freak or whatever else, which doesn't have to be a case. And we've been to this kind of stories from millenniums. You know, if you look at those people in trying to hide themselves in the forest in the medieval years or even earlier, because the majority, like citizens, they were just punishing those people, calling them freak or wizards or other names, and the only way was just to run away from them to the forest and live their life over there just to survive in this physical reality. If you stay too long over there, they could crucify you, kill you, burn you. You know.
That's because what you're talking about there is, and I'm going to use the analogy of stories because everybody's got their own story. Yeah. Okay. There's only two truths, or let's say there's about existence. One, there's purpose. Some kind of purpose to your life, to being here, to existing, and the other is there's no purpose. There's no half and half. There's either no purpose or there is some purpose.
It's black or
now,
white.
Some people can say, well, there's no purpose. Then why do you do what you do? You give it a purpose. You create, when there's no purpose, every single person who's living creates some kind of purpose for themselves. Whether it's just on a daily level, but I've got to pay my rent. That's a purpose. So you're living to pay your rent. Do you need to pay your rent? No, it's consequences. So you choose. But everybody gives themselves some kind of purpose. Nobody can live without no purpose, because that's destructive, and they can't physically do it. Otherwise, they can't move. They can't make a decision if there's no purpose to making a decision.
I found myself in such a situation when I don't feel like having any purpose on a particular day. I feel like, okay, so what's the point to do anything? You know, it's better to actually lie in the bed and do nothing. So these are these depressive moments, right? Let's say next day you wake up and you feel like, hold on, but actually I wanted to, clean the windows. Let's clean the windows. Windows are clean. Yeah. Oh, they shine. They look good. Okay, that's my purpose.
Well, you can sway between the two sort of things on a temporary basis, but I mean your fundamental belief is that there is some purpose, and that's mine as well. Some fundamental beliefs that there's some purpose. So I'm not even going to be bothered with trying to prove to myself that there's no purpose. And with all the different purposes there could be, all the different stories of purpose that you can choose, well, you choose one that makes you feel actually in control. Because the one thing I don't want to experience is the fact that there is a purpose, but it's gone past me. And I don't have control over that purpose. It's somebody else's purpose I'm living. I'm not here to do that. You know, I'm here to be me. I want to know who I am. I want to know what my life is all about. I want to know what my existence is. I want to know what my purpose is, my individual purpose, not 7 billion other purposes.
But then what if the purpose doesn't exist?
It doesn't matter whether it does exist, because I make it exist.
But we got our guests some time ago, and Casper believes that there's no purpose. If you just live because you live, because that's the nature. But if you die, you just die. No one cares. You just die.
Well, in most cases, when you die, nobody does care, because it's not about other people. It's about you. It's always about you. It's the individual. You're here, you're the only one having this life. You're the only one having this unique experience of being you. Now, if you can't find a purpose in that, then you don't need to be here.
Okay, let's twist it even more. Let me tell you this story, because today is a jump session, so we can jump from left to right.
Yeah.
Let's jump a bit further.
Yeah,
there are some people who believe that actually our life is not what we experience here. Our reality is when we sleep. When we start sleeping, we go into actually our real like a source of existence. And only when we go back, actually we're sleeping. So in our reality, we are alive. We are aware of what's going on because we're not sleeping. But actually when we're sleeping, it's our living session, but this real one. What do you believe? What do you think about this one? I'm pretty sure you've heard about this theory as well.
Well, I've thought about that myself. I was that this is the dream, because I'm into dreams. I'm into dreams, and there's some anomalies in dreams that really kept me busy thinking about them. When you have an experience, and I have this often in a dream, where I know what happened previously, but I know I didn't dream what happened previously.
Mm-hmm.
But something happens and I think, well, wait a minute. Well, I know this person. We have a history together. Mm-hmm. And I know where that history is. I know we've done some things together beforehand. And I'm thinking this while I'm dreaming, but when I wake up, I realise that, well, how could I have known that? I don't know it because I know I didn't dream that thing beforehand. I've never met this person before in a dream. I know I haven't met this person in a dream before, but in the dream, I know that person from a history. We have a history together. And that makes me think that maybe they are different lives that you are living, and when those dream characters go to sleep, we become the dream. And when we go to sleep, it's them waking up and wondering who the hell we are talking around a table with cameras and everything like that. I had this really weird dream last night,
Yeah.
But where's the dream?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
but it sounds so weird. But actually,
everything is damn weird. We can't. We've discussed this so many times, and when you're talking about consciousness and reality, you can't know what the ultimate truth is. All you have is an idea, a story that you create for yourself, or you take on somebody else's story. That's your story of reality that you hold on to, and anything that backs it up, you'll cling to, and for whatever reason you choose it, it works for you. And other ones become more difficult to accept because they don't fit in line, they don't make you comfortable. And it's the only thing you have, because we don't know what we are, we don't know who we are, we don't know what's out there, we don't know what's created any of this, we don't know what is real.
But you believe that the fact that we don't know who we are and what we are supposed to do here is related to the fact that we send ourselves into this, or we created this.
It's my story.
It's your story. So you created it for
I
yourself.
choose that story.
And you chose to be unconscious, actually, or like a born kid, like not knowing anything. So you just need to start from the blank page. You just need to find out yourself everything from the very zero.
I go right from the beginning. Okay, I don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I know is either told to me or I've made it up, or I've experienced something that gives me an idea. You know, but I don't know anything for real. All I know is my experience of being. And that's the only thing I have. And I'm happy with that. So I try to work on that, to build it out a little bit more, to help me to understand other things. But all the time I'm trying to define my existence in the simplest possible manner, because I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. And trying to find the simplest explanation that allows for everything else. Yeah, I'm just a thought. And in that thought, I don't even have to be me. Somebody else has thought me.
Yeah.
And this is just an expression of some other mind. Okay. That seems to be interesting. Sort of could be one example, because a mind can think anything up. It can think you up. It can think this life up, this dimension. It can think other dimensions. So whatever's happening, for me, it makes it really simple. If everything's consciousness and everything's thought, just thought, and from my own experience, like I've explained before, it's my experience with dreams, but also with synchronicities and things like that happen, whether my thoughts are my own or not. Everything is imaginable, and if I can't imagine it, then I don't know about it. So I can imagine everything, and through dreams I can actually experience them as realities. And that just brings me, if I'm looking at it and saying, okay, well, if that's so, then why can't this be so? And that brings me then to the idea that, well, maybe this is just all thought. And if it's all thought, maybe I'm just all thought. And it doesn't have to be me that's thinking it. Because I can think of lots of different characters, and I can create lots of different people in my dreams. Then maybe I'm just a creation in a dream. You go to the program as well, a computer program, but eventually you've got to get down to a real person who programs it. Well, okay, it's another story. It's another expression of the same story, you could say, another different way of telling the same story. But instead of a computer program, it's just a dream, a thought, an imagining, a daydream, if you like. It works for me, and that's the only thing I can say. It's the sort of thing that works for me.
You know, when I look at this life,
and then I try, because it works for me. It makes everything very simple for me, because I certainly don't feel the need or the compulsion to make this life any more complicated than it needs to be, because I look around and everybody seems to be making their life complicated, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be fun if you tried to make your life uncomplicated? And what does that do? Now, why should I do the same thing everybody else is doing? Let me try to make it uncomplicated for myself. But that's the purpose I choose to have here. And it works for me. So I stick with it. And the point is, then for me, is to have that model and really experience it by pulling every other experience I have into this model.
All right, yeah. But I would like to now once again switch to a slightly different topic. I think that we've got a few more minutes to discuss it. How do you see then people like Buddhists, like monks, those folks, they just the only physical activities they need to do is they need to feed themselves. Obviously they need to perform all kind of maintenance of their body, like wash and this, and drink and sleep.
Some of them don't, apparently.
That might be a case, yeah. But they need to perform those basic things which are related to the physical reality. But apart from that, they completely gone. They just eat and then dive into sort of dreaming mode, or how do you call it? I forgot the name. How is it called? Meditate. They just meditate. So they just sit like this and they don't pay attention to anything. They make their mind completely out of this reality. So they sort of close themselves within the forest, for example, where there's limited number of noises and in other impulses. So they can meditate, and they do it on a daily basis, day by day. And when they get out of this meditation state, they just go to take care of their body again. So go to the toilet, eat something, drink something, and sleep, and then another day is the same.
What's the question?
So my question is, they find a purpose in that. They don't see any kind of purpose in buying a car, fancy house, no. I don't know, doing other fancy physically related stuff. Yeah. They just focus on their meditation and connection with the source. Yeah. Let's call it like that. Yeah. How do you see that? Do you think that if you send yourself in here, would you be thinking about, oh, hold on, my purpose would be to actually find out what my purpose of this life is. So I need to spend entire life, day by day, meditating and trying to get to the point why I am here. No, maybe it's like my wife claims. No, just enjoy your life. If you're here, just enjoy your life. Enjoy this physical life. Don't think about non-physical things. The non-physical things is something that you're going to join according to you when you die. Yeah. What do you think about that, Ted?
Well, that's the thing. It's not my thing. I can appreciate what they're doing. They're trying to find some kind of sense of being without any distraction, without it being anything material, just being. And that's important to them. That's their purpose. They've decided that's their purpose, and they're going to do it. And what they get out of it, I don't know, because I don't do that.
But this is also cultural purpose. Just taking into consideration, you're just born in this reality, in this culture, and you follow this path.
So is this. Half the people here are just born into the whole purpose is what the society tells them is their purpose. Yeah. My purpose is to make my own decision what my purpose is. And I say also quite often, maybe your purpose is just to find your purpose. And when you find it, you're done. It's hide and seek with yourself. Find yourself and then you're done. I found myself. Okay, next game. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah. But make a decision for God's sake.
But it makes sense.
And that's when we come back to happiness. But I think it's the sense that you're actually living your own life. You're not living somebody else's life. You're not living somebody else's purpose. You've actually taken the time to find out why you're here and who you are. And by doing that, it's not always easy, not always straight path and smooth, and it can be kind of confronting for some people. But I think if you find out. Imagine dying and you suddenly find out there is a God, and he said, so what did you do? I did this. That's not why you went there. Go back. Yeah. So you have to go back again. And you come back after the 500th lifetime. And, I did this. You haven't got it, have you? You're supposed to go there to find out why you went there, And that's the sort of thing I think everybody who struggles. Not everybody should find happiness, maybe. Maybe that isn't the reason. Maybe the reason was to come here and not find what they were looking for. I don't know, but that's my story. That's the thing I choose to believe in.
You say I don't know at the end of the discussion, and that's fair. That's fine. Now let's say let's compare that to what Casper said.
But he does know.
He says no, it's actually, why do you make it so complicated? Why do you think about dreams, this and that? Everything is so flat. You just live now. It's physical. You die at some point, and the game over, and that's it. So, we can think of billions of different solutions, but we have no clue whatsoever. To be honest, it's all as he said. Actually, we cannot prove majority of things.
We can't prove that that the only purpose to be here is to live as a part of nature and just do what everybody else was doing. You have a choice, and you choose what gives you a sense of well-being or what interests you. Where does that interest come from? We've had this discussion around where does impulse come from? Where does your interest grow? Is it an experience you had when you were little that makes you more interested in one thing than another? Is it an inborn talent? Is it inborn, wrong wiring in your brain? Mm-hmm. Or do you come with a theme? I can understand, say, Casper's point of view and other people who think like that, but that's their point of view. I don't think my way of looking at life is complicated. I think it's very, very simple. Everything's possible and you have a choice. You choose which story you want to play. You choose who you want to be. You choose which path you want to carry. Total freedom.
You know what? I'm so excited talking to you, and the topics are so great because we're jumping from corner to corner, but actually it gives me a lot of satisfaction because we can quickly switch. We don't keep the structure, and we don't keep.
Well, we can maybe when we do get together, and just the two of us, we just do this.
Perhaps that's an option. Unfortunately, now we need to stop. But I really enjoyed it, and I would like to keep on doing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So perhaps next jump session will take place next time. So thank you very much, Mike and everybody, and enjoy the next session. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.